Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the May 19th regular business board meeting. I think right now we are going to celebrate our honorees first. And Dr. McGinley, you gonna?
Thank you. Good evening and welcome, everyone. Professional excellence, spirited loyalty, and an unyielding dedication to the interests of children are characteristics that define Lower Merion School District staff. Tonight, we honor those who have shared this commitment to our schools, students, and community for 25 years and celebrate their outstanding contributions to public education in Lower Merion. The newest members of our 25-year club who are here tonight are Harriet Ackerman, Joyce Acton, Amy Barnett, Susan Beck, Barb Grippy, Rodney Henry, Beverly Hess, Margaret O'Kane, Mary Beth Rady, Kathy Skakel, and Jerome Stewart. And with us tonight we have several of their colleagues who will share some remarks and some personal introductions. And we also have a small token of appreciation that we will share with you when you visit the podium. And our first speaker to welcome our new members of the 25-year club is Mr. Sean Hughes.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday to all of you. I have the honor tonight to introduce and recognize my colleague, Harriet Ackerman. Harriet joined the Lower Merion School District in the spring of 1986, having moved back from Washington, D.C., where she taught at the Lab School of Washington. This was a school for children with learning disabilities where artists were hired to teach in the academic program. After a long-term sub-position for a semester in the art department at LM, she became the lower school art teacher at the Baldwin School. Harriet returned to LM happily in 1998 to teach metal arts courses and some added 3D mixed media classes, and has been at LM ever since. Harriet's earlier years were filled with after-school activities, including players and class activities. She was one of the sponsors for the class of 1994 and 2002. Around the middle of her career, she was fortunate to travel to Japan on a Fulbright Memorial Fund teacher grant. Her teaching has since been inspired by the blend of Eastern and Western cultures. I've had the pleasure of working with Harriet while I was a teacher, an AD, an assistant principal, and now the principal. She's one of the most caring people I've ever worked with. Harriet, you're a true asset to our school and community, and as a teacher, you've taught so many students to be creative and passionate about their work and to think outside the box. What more could our students ask for as a teacher? So we thank you for your service to Lower Merion High School with students, faculty, and this community. Harriet, you come on up.
Just how much I've loved this whole experience along the way. Thank you very much. I'm really not a public speaker, but thank you, and thank you, Sean. Sure. I think you're a great principal, and I look at Doug, and I just had the pleasure of seeing a reunion he organized, so to see students go from 18 to 38 in a 20-year span, there's something really moving. So now I just told everyone your age, Doug.
Taking numbers out.
But look, they know my age too. So
there's still hope, Doug. Don't worry about that.
Well, it just makes me realize what an incredibly moving experience it is to teach young people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, now I have the honor to introduce our next colleague, and her name is Joyce Acton. Joyce joined the Lower Merion School District in the fall of 1988 as a challenge teacher at Harriton High School. The sabbatical fill position allowed Joyce to combine her training in English with work that would allow her to share and extend a love of learning. At Harriton, Joyce helped students with the Literary Magazine Club, began long-term working relationships, as well as friendships with many legendary figures in the district, including the famous Nort Seaman and also Seal Fry. During the following 2 years, Joyce taught 7th and 8th grade English at Ballakidwin Middle School, filling in for Marcy Hockfield, who was on maternity leave for her first child. Joyce also taught an evening course in the content area of English at the Penn State University Satellite Campus, now the Brandywine campus, during her second year at BC. Eventually, Joyce became a challenge teacher at Lower Merion High School in the fall of 1991, where she has continued to serve across the years. In addition to teaching high school gifted students at Lower Merion, she has been the sponsor of the Dolphin Club and the mock trial team for about 23 and 22 years, respectively. Outside of school, Joyce has served as a board member of the Middletown Free Library and has judged many literary magazine contests. Joyce enjoys gardening, reading, and boating. She and her husband, Dave, are proud parents of 3 grown children and grandparents of 3 terrific little boys. A granddaughter is promised for this fall. She's one of the most dedicated people I've ever worked with and an asset to Lower Merion High School. Joyce consistently strives to help her students reach their highest potential. Joyce, again, thank you for your service to Lower Merion, its students, and its faculty and commitment. Thank you.
Like Harriet, I don't know that I have prepared remarks, but I do want to extend my appreciation for the 25 years of service, the opportunity to teach very talented students, to be a colleague with so many fine people, to work with community members, board members. Thank you for your belief in me, sending me to 4 national conventions for gifted children, a trip to Berkeley, to an innovation conference 4 years ago. Some really wonderful experiences, and I've tried to carry that kind of inspiration back to the classroom. Thank you, and Doug is one of my former students too.
A recurring theme.
Our next honorees will be introduced by Mr. Sean Bernatowicz.
Good evening. A smile, a story, and a serving spoon are 3 things that Margaret O'Kane consistently has on the ready as she has served the children of Lower Merion School District for the past 25 years. Her warm Irish eyes have been greeting the children during the 5 lunch periods in which over 500 students eat daily. On my daily rounds through the kitchen, Margaret is always ready with a story, which she invariably told with a serving spoon in hand, which she often used to make a point and to ensure that I was listening attentively. Margaret was 17 when she immigrated to the United States. Born in Tyrone, she claims County Monaghan as her home, where her remaining siblings still reside and where Margaret likes to visit. Margaret, along with her husband, John Sean O'Kane, a semi-retired plumber, are the proud parents of 3 Lower Merion School District graduates who have provided them with 5 grandchildren. Margaret started her career in June of 1988 and spent 2 years subbing in a number of schools before becoming a consistent presence at Penn Elementary, where she has been since 1990. Over the course of her years of service at Penn, living through construction was one of the more vibrant memories Margaret had. She recalled how the cafeteria was located on the 2nd floor of what is now the library. Asked about the biggest change she has experienced, Margaret noted the change in the school menu and the expansion of the options offered to the children today. She recounted how when she began, there was always soup and maybe 1 or 2 choices. As a result of the expansion of the menu, Margaret and her colleagues are the working definition of multitaskers. In addition to actually serving the lunch, Margaret is simultaneously engaged in preparing the food, running the dishwasher, scrubbing the pots and pans, and replenishing the hot and cold food lines. It is with gratitude and appreciation that I thank Margaret on behalf of the Lower Merion School District and the Penn School community for her many years of service with a smile to our children. Margaret, come on up.
Oh, I just want to say thank you very much for this, and it has been fun. The time has gone by so fast. Mr. B reminded me that I'm here 25 years. I didn't even realize it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Charming, disarming, and never alarming. These are the words that come to mind when I think about Mrs. Amy Barnett. I always felt assured that any child I entrusted to Amy's care would receive whatever support they needed in order to achieve success. Amy, first and foremost, recognizes the importance of relationships, and she takes the steps necessary to build and nurture them with the children she works with their parents and guardians, and with her fellow colleagues. Her warm smile instantly put children at ease. They know that Mrs. Barnett is there to help and support them. Students appreciate the continuous positive reinforcement they receive from Mrs. Barnett and her gentle prodding for them to achieve to their fullest potentials. Amy could easily establish rapport with any parent and guardian as she engaged them in discussions of how she would work collaboratively with them to support their child. Amy's diagnostic skills enabled her to zero in on each child's needs, and her wealth of experience provided her with a deep well of strategies and approaches to implement. No matter how complex a child's needs were, Amy consistently reassured parents and guardians that addressing their child's needs was not a problem. Amy's students consistently showed growth under her watchful eye. Amy started her career at Lower Merion as a substitute teacher. She then became a learning support teacher at Penn Wynne for the next 17 years. As a learning support teacher, she recognized the need for a more intensive multisensory approach for teaching decoding and encoding to some of her students. As a result, she became both a Level 1 and Level 2 certified Wilson Reading System instructor, which is a program that is known to teach dyslexic students how to read. In 2009, she became Lower Merion's in-district Wilson trainer, providing support to the district with all Wilson programs, including training and certifying learning support and reading teachers in Level 1 Wilson certification. She also continued to instruct students at Penn Wynne and Belmont Hills in Wilson. Amy runs after-school workshops for additional Wilson training for teachers and assistants, and she brought the Experience Dyslexia, a simulation program, to Lower Merion. Amy's skill in delivering instruction made her a resource to her colleagues that often seek out her advice and guidance. In addition to her formal role as a teacher trainer, Amy has formally and informally mentored many of her colleagues on a wide variety of topics and subjects. Personally, Amy has served as a resource for me in my continuing professional growth. Her depth of knowledge related to special education and her understanding of the history of the district are invaluable resources for me. Amy's influence will be felt for many years to come, not only through the success of her students who receive direct instruction from her, but also through the training that she has provided to her colleagues. By equipping her colleagues with skills to promote student learning, Amy's legacy will continue for many years into the future. For all of her years of service at Penn Wynne, our community thanks her and wishes her well as she continues her career in Lower Merion School District. Come on up, Amy.
Thank you very much. It was beautiful. It's been an honor to work here. I graduated Lower Merion, and my mom's been in the district teaching for 54 years, and now my daughter has just bought a house in Lower Merion because it's an outstanding district and there's no other district I'd rather have my grandchildren go to school. So thank you.
Thank you. Our next honorees will be introduced by Ms. Ann Heffron.
Good evening, everyone. I have the honor of acknowledging two of our wonderful Merion staff members who are not only being recognized for their 25 years of service, but who will also be retiring at the end of our school year this year. And I'll start with Susie Beck. Susie Beck has been a key member of the Merion staff since her early days as a substitute teacher. She held several long-term substitute positions in the school, and in 1999 joined the special education staff as an instructional assistant in our learning support program, a position she still holds today. Over her years at Merion, Susie has been a valued colleague who always has the best interests of the children in mind. While supporting academic growth of our students is her main responsibility, Susie also always took an interest about the children's lives outside of the classroom. She cares very much for and about the children with whom she works, and they know it. The word no is really not part of Susie's vocabulary. And I suspect there were times that she would rather not have gone out in the teeming rain for bus duty or have taken over the art class, but she did so graciously, oftentimes volunteering before a call for help was put forth. Anytime I ever needed her to sub in a classroom or to take an extra duty, I knew that she would step in to do what needed to be done, as she had done so many times before. Susie is a true gem, and not only do we congratulate her on achieving this 25-year milestone, we also know that come September, her presence at Marion will be sorely missed.
Thank you all very much for recognizing me. I have strong roots here. I was a student here in Lower Merion. My children went to school here in Lower Merion, and it's a wonderful place to be. Thank you very much.
Barbara Grippy. Barbara began her career in Lower Merion at Kinwood School, where she taught a multi-age class of first and second grade students. In her early career in the district, she also taught at Belmont Hills and Penn Valley School. She has been at Marion teaching kindergarten well before my arrival in 1996, and I was thrilled to learn that, like me, she was an upstate girl. I don't think there is a kindergarten teacher currently in the district who has not sought out Barbara for advice, ideas, or suggestions on how to make the kindergarten curriculum come to life, a skill she does with much grace, style, and love. When former students come back to visit Marion, Mrs. Grippy is one of the first people they ask for. She probably hears her name called 100 times a day. Mrs. Grippy, I need this. Mrs. Grippy, can you help me? Mrs. Grippy, look what I did. She has helped countless children with everything from learning their letters to putting on their snow boots. She has taught them by example about kindness, about sharing, and about what it means to be a caring person. After years of show and tell, working with tangrams, baby chicks, and big books, and most recently iPads, Barbara is one of the only people I know who looks as good, if not better, at the end of the day as she did at the start of the school day. No one could ever fill her shoes, and after seeing her shoes, I know no one else would ever be able to walk in them. Congratulations on 25 wonderful years in Lower Merion, and best wishes to Barbara in her retirement.
Well, I've often said everything you need to know you learn in kindergarten. I will leave those words with you. I've enjoyed every moment that I've had in the classroom with the children that have been in my care. And I've heard Mrs. Grippy help me so many times, and I'm looking forward to hearing, Bobby, won't you help me? Because that's what my grandchildren will call me. Thank you.
Our next honorees will be introduced by Mr. Pat Gannan.
The next two we'd like to honor are custodians. And while you may not realize that custodians are just as much a part of the team in a school as the teachers and the administrators. So the first one I'd like to honor is Mr. Rodney Henry, who is assigned in the night staff at Lower Merion High School and probably cleaned the gym when you were playing basketball. Come on up, Rod. I have a few words here from Dennis Witt, but I would echo them as well. Rod is a dedicated and valued member of our staff. He had the role of what we now call a night lead custodian at the old Lower Merion High School when there was no additional compensation for the position. He not only provided Jim Perry, the head custodian, a trusted voice, but he is a well-respected and competent leader who can delegate duties. He handled emergency situations that were sometimes quite common when dealing with the old school. For example, if we'd had a rain like last Friday at the old school, it would be get out the sandbags time. Jim Perry, our head custodian, has told us that Rod has no idea how much that meant to him to have a level of calm in the building that at times was a very bumpy ride for him. To this day, even though Rod's not in that position, he's an employee to point to as having great leadership qualities and exceptional custodial knowledge. Having a custodian with the ability to lead, a calm presence, and exceptional knowledge absolutely makes a huge difference. No doubt the second shift at Lower Merion High School is significantly better with his presence. It's hard to believe that 25 years have gone by so fast, but working with people like Rod makes it that much more enjoyable. Thanks.
I'd just like to thank everybody for recognizing me, and time do fly when you have fun. It was a joy working with the district. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I'd like to honor Mr. Jerome Stewart, who is our head custodian at Belmont Hills Elementary. I have some remarks here from Pam Hart, the principal at Belmont Hills. She couldn't be here with us tonight, but I will go ahead and read her remarks because, again, I wholeheartedly agree with these. On behalf of the Belmont Hills school community, I want to extend my congratulations to Mr. Stewart for his 25 years of service to our district. For the past 15 years, he has served as the head custodian at Belmont Hills. During his tenure, he has consistently demonstrated his care and commitment to our school building. His pride is evident in the ways in which he attends to all the aspects of the school building, those that are very prominent as well as those that are tucked away places. Mr. Stewart is meticulous in his work and has served as a model for the evening custodians. Each August, our staff, students, and families return to a building that reflects the love, joy, and care that he has for us. While Mr. Stewart is a wonderful custodian, he has played other important roles in our school. He sings the solo during the staff song at the all-school sing. At our staff PSSA basketball game, he not only sings the national anthem a cappella, but also serves as one of the high scorers as well. He's a big Green Bay Packers fan who tries hard to be gracious when the Eagles lose. However, with all these important qualities, the most important role that Mr. Stewart plays in our school is the love and connections he has developed with our students over the years. When alumni return to Belmont Hills, the first question most students ask is Mr. Stewart still here? To get the best sense of how much the students love Mr. Stewart, I thought it would be best for them to tell you in their own words. Although I could share hundreds of quotes, the sampling below gives a good sense of how much he means to the children. So these are quotes from the children. He's always nice, sweet, grateful, and funny. He is the nicest man alive. He's always there when we need a good cleaning. At lunch, Mr. Stewart says, "Peace out." We play hand games, and it is funny to watch. He is the most awesomest man alive, and most kids just love him. On Crazy Hat Day, my friend and I wore cheese hats and took a picture with Mr. Stewart. He is like a big best friend kid. I can say I speak for everyone when I say we love him. So Mr. Stewart, on behalf of everyone at Belmont Hills and everyone in our department, I'd like to say thank you. For my own, I would add that I have known Mr. Stewart as a man of character, somebody I can always count on to do the right thing no matter what the circumstances are. Thanks.
Would you like to sing something?
Thank you very much. I didn't think that 25 years would go that fast, but they've gone, and I've enjoyed every minute and every year that has come and gone to share with everyone from when I arrived from Penn Wynn to Lower Merion High School and now to Belmont Hills. But I thank you very much for your gift of love, and thank you very much.
Our next honorees will be introduced by Mr. Jason Potton.
Good evening.
I have the honor of recognizing two of our staff members tonight, Mrs. Beverly Hess and Mrs. Kathy Scahill. I'll begin with Mrs. Hess. For me, when I think of that person whose presence is calming, whose voice is soothing, and whose reaction is never judgmental, the person whose face I see is Beverly Hess. Now, I'm sure that there have been times when Mrs. Hess has been either angry or frustrated. I've never seen it. Bev has served as a special education teacher, math, reading, and writing teacher. Did I forget anything? Wilson as well, I believe. For 6th grade at Bala Cynwyd Middle School. During her tenure, she has been the champion for every student, focusing on their strengths and helping others to focus on them as well. She helped lead the building in developing a team teaching concept, which still exists today, and also led her team in developing interdisciplinary units that enrich the students' learning experience. She developed multicultural lessons and experiences for all students. All of these focus on developing a positive experience for each of her students, which she strived for daily. Bev not only supported the experiences of the students, but she also supported the experiences of the staff. She has served as a mentor, a buddy. She has shared professional development, been a member of the START team, volunteered for additional training. Perhaps more importantly, though, she has always listened and has always been there for her colleagues. Although I have only known her for the past 5 years, I know that that is what is most appreciated by her peers. Mrs. Hess's life does exist beyond the classroom. She and her husband have raised 3 children. She has been active in her community and has mentored more students than anyone can remember. 25 years is a long time, but Bev has made each day during that time brighter for someone, a student, a staff member, and even sometimes a grumpy administrator. So thank you very much, Bev, for your service, and congratulations.
Well, I really appreciate you honoring us this evening, and all I can say is that I feel blessed. I feel blessed to have been part of this school community. I've been blessed to work with so many wonderful colleagues, Joyce and Kathy, and so many others, Marcy, through my years. And Lower Merion is really a beacon. It is a place where you educate children, but you also help educate teachers and staff, and you've always been on the cutting edge, at least, and that is my true, sincere opinion. So thank you again. Can't believe that 25 years has gone by, but again, thank you. I am blessed.
If you walked into Bala Cynwyd Middle School and immediately needed someone to put together an impromptu musical performance, the response you would hear is that, well, Kathy could do that. She has done that for the past 25 years in a moment's notice. Mrs. Scahill has gained the students' attention, sat down at the piano, and allowed for over 800 student voices to be heard as they sang the alma mater for Bala Cynwyd Middle School. She's done this during almost every assembly without complaint or notice. Mrs. Scahill has been a prominent figure in Bala Cynwyd Middle School, particularly in the area of vocal music. She has directed the BCMS Advanced Choir for 25 years and has consistently produced an award-winning ensemble. She has been a member of the American Choral Directors Association for over 20 years, sponsoring Bala Cynwyd Middle School students to sing in national honor choirs. She has accompanied and or directed the vocal music of more than 15 musicals at Bala Cynwyd Middle School, and she has agreed to support or accompany countless students for the end-of-year talent show. Kathy Scahill has placed individual student needs at the forefront of her work. She has worked tirelessly to ensure that all students, regardless of their learning needs, have access to music performance classes. Her work led her to ensure that our students who have significant learning needs are exposed to the joy of music during school for the past 12 years. When I think of Kathy Scahill, I think of all that she has done for Bala Cynwyd Middle School, but I will also think about her own family and how proud she is of the success of her 2 sons who, for for some reason, seem to be musically inclined. She has supported them for every step of their journey, whether they are school performances, albums, YouTube videos, auditions, etc. Kathy is there and has always shared her excitement at school the next day with her colleagues. Congratulations to both Kathy and her family for this milestone, and more importantly, thank you for all that you've done in your service.
Doug Young was in 8th grade my first year at Balakin Middle School. 8th grade general music. It's nice to see him still here. It has been a true honor to work at Balakinwood Middle School for 25 years. It's a wonderful group of professionals, and it is an honor to work in a district that values the arts as much as Lower Merion does. Thank you very much.
And now we have Mr. Christopher Hall to introduce our final honoree.
I have the great privilege this evening of acknowledging Mary Beth Rady, a really special teacher that's part of the Welsh Valley faculty. And in doing so tonight, I'm going to begin by actually going back to the beginning of my teaching career. I was reminded recently that at the beginning of my teaching career, right above my chalkboard, every August, in preparation for the first day of school, I would really carefully display a poster that read, "Never settle for less than your best." Pretty kind of trite saying that I never thought very much about until I met Mary Beth Rady. Mary Beth Rady is the epitome of someone that believes in giving her best in every situation. And I'm reminded of this by the fact that I work with her every day. There are very few educators that I've met in my entire career that match her commitment to really ensuring that her students get the very best of what she has to offer. With Mary Beth, there's really no such thing as good enough. Her colleagues know this. They come to the office to pick up their mail, and they tell us stories about the fact that she just spent hours looking for just the perfect font for that brochure that she's creating for Waterbound, or that she's gone to 5 different grocery stores to find seeded watermelons because Tom Sawyer Day is coming up, and it's really important that the kids have watermelon seeds for the seed spitting contest. She's talked about all the time. We talk about you all the time, Mary Beth. You just inspire all of us. Recently, just this past week, when parents got Waterbound acceptance letters, one of the parents made a point of reaching out to Mr. Visosky and Miss Rady via email to just shout them out for what a beautifully written and exciting acceptance letter they received. Mary Beth put out hours into that letter, despite the fact that she's been teaching in Waterbound for years and years. Every year, she just tries to up the ante and improve the quality of what she offers our students and their families. It's really, really important to her that students get an authentic experience. And so when her students are taking part in Gold Rush Day, she spends a great deal of time trying to make sure that there's period accurate ice cream recipes for the students. That's incredibly important for her. Quite simply, and I could go on and on, she is, Mary Beth is just a teacher that we all wish, I think, our children could have. I've often told my secretary, Mary Ann, that I just wish, I walk out of Mary Beth's classroom and I say, wow, I wish my daughter Alice, my 10-year-old, could have just one teacher in her life like Mary Beth. What I think is so special about her is the fact that she models for students every single day what it means to be passionate about something, what it means to give your all, every single day, even when you're tired and it's difficult to do so. She models what it means to persevere in pursuit of one's goals. And her students follow suit. Anyone who's ever been in Mary Beth's classroom knows that students follow suit. They follow her positive example. So Mary Beth, I just want to thank you for 25 awesome years of service. Thank you for making parents feel really, really good every single day about the awesome choice they made to entrust us with the education of their students. Thank you.
Wow, that was really nice. Thanks, Chris. I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to have a program such as Waterbound. I can't believe it was like 21 years ago that Jay and I came here and pitched the program, and You know, now there's 6 programs in the district, and it's just great. Because anytime I tell people about it, they're like, where do you teach? Like, where do they allow you to do such a thing like that? No, of course, it's Lower Merion. So thank you for that. And also, thank you for Chris and Scott and Sarah. This year has been awesome. We've all been invigorated, and it's just wonderful. I don't want to retire as much as, you know, so, but thank you so much.
And as I recall, Doug Young won the watermelon seed spitting contest. I also want to recognize the honorees who were unable to be here to attend this evening's meeting. Irene Adams, Ed Blounce, Bob Brandt, Peter Crook, Sally Drucker, Sally Pettit, and Miriam Schaefer. And one of those honorees wrote a letter, and I would just paraphrase it to say that she noted that her love for teaching began when she started here in kindergarten in 1960. And then as soon as she completed college, she rushed right back here and tried to get a job for a few years and eventually got hired. And that's Sally Drucker, and she did take time to write a really nice note. And so though it's impossible to adequately express our thanks for all that you have done for the community, we are forever grateful for your service and your commitment to our children and our schools. Congratulations on reaching this important milestone. Only 25 more years to go. We realize everybody has other things they need to do this evening, so you're welcome to stay, but we understand. Next on the agenda, I'd like to acknowledge the generosity of the Interschool Council and recognize the mini grants that they awarded this year. And I do see that ISC President Amy Noor is here, and I'm wondering if you wanted to say anything about the mini grants, or should I just say something?
Hi, thank you very much. I was not planning to say anything, but I would like to thank the district for their support of mini grants, and especially thank Julie Gruber-May, who headed our mini grants this year, because the amount of work she has put into this is phenomenal and just requires tremendous number of hours, not just in preparing for this year's mini grant cycle, but she monitors it for the next 12 months in terms of sending out checks as the teachers send in their reimbursement requests, et cetera, and it's a lot of work, and she's just done a phenomenal job. So I'd like to thank her, and thank you.
Thank you. And I'd just like to note that 42 grants were received this year, requesting $25,000, and the ISC was able to award 18 grants with either partial or full funding. The average grant award was $300, and the range was between $100 and $1,000. And those grants enable teachers to do really innovative and creative things in the classrooms, and we appreciate the support of Interschool Council and all 10 of the school HSAs that contributed to the fund. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'd like to just echo Dr. McGinley's thanks on behalf of the entire board. We really appreciate the mini grants and all the work that you do around ISC. Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask if there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak to an agenda item only. There'll be opportunity at the end of the meeting to speak on any issue, but if anyone would like to speak to an agenda item, please come up and sign in with Ms. LaPera. Okay, I'm going to move on to approval of the minutes from the following meetings. We have the April 28th regular business meeting, the May 12th Education Committee meeting, as well as accepting the following committee meetings: May 6th Curriculum Committee, May 9th Policy Committee, May 14th Communications Committee, and May 15th Facilities and Purchasing Committee. Do I have a motion to approve? Thank you, Marissa. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ben. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Dr. McGinley?
Thank you. I'm going to move right to the action items on the agenda. Item 7A, I'm recommending the Board of School Directors approve the human resource action items as listed in exhibits HR 1 through HR 7.
Are there any questions or comments?
I'd asked Melissa earlier if I could just make a comment to note 2 retirements, one of whom was just recognized earlier. We have many retirements, and we are grateful to all the teachers for our service, but I had a personal connection with 2 that I just wanted to give them a quick shout out. Mrs. Grippy, who's taken kindergarten children at Marion Elementary School and seamlessly introduced them to public school, and as Ann Heffron noted earlier, all having done that without having a hair out of place and while wearing high heels. And then the second teacher who we just learned is retiring is Penny Glackman. And Penny needs no additional accolades about her pedagogy, as that's already been recognized by the White House, and we don't quite rate there. But I wanted to take an opportunity because of my personal gratitude to her for something she did not as a pedagogue, but as a human being. And that is a few years ago when there was a death of a parent in the Marion Elementary community. I will just never forget how stand-up Penny was and how she was there for that family in the middle of summer. She cut her vacation short, and she has guided those children through all of that horrible transition, and I just am forever in her debt. And so I wanted to just express my appreciation for her service, again, both academically and holistically to our children. Thanks, Melissa.
No, thank you, Marissa. With that, do I have a motion to approve?
I so move.
Thank you, Virginia. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. Next is the report of the Curriculum Committee. Dr. Van Lynch.
Thank you, Dr. McGinley. The Curriculum Committee met on Tuesday, May 6th at 8:30. We had 4 presentation topics. The first was on professional learning communities. Ms. Marcy Hockfield, assistant principal at Lower Marion High School, provided the committee with a comprehensive overview of PLCs, which are comprised of teams of educators in our secondary schools that engage in a collaborative, inquiry-based model that is genuine, ongoing, and focused on critically examining instructional practice in an effort to improve student learning. The committee was presented with the 2 types of PLCs currently in place at the middle and high schools. The middle schools currently use a subject area collaboration model where teachers who teach the same content area meet regularly. The high schools currently use a team collaboration model that is based in part on, the high schools currently use a team collaboration model that is based on the students that are part of an interdisciplinary team. The goals of PLC center on improving instructional practice, focusing on both formative and summative assessment, student achievement, and student intervention. The committee also had an opportunity to hear from Mr. Chris Hall, principal at Welsh Valley, regarding the growth and development of PLCs at Welsh Valley. The Welsh Valley leadership team has had opportunities to engage in collaborative reading and professional development and meets regularly to address issues related to instruction and student achievement. Ms. Trish Schuler, English teacher and coordinator of the 9th grade team at Lower Marion High School, also shared with the committee the essential questions that PLCs must engage, with the first question being, what am I doing to ensure that all students learn? Ms. Hockfield reminded the committee of the intentional work needed to establish and maintain PLCs, and the staff present echoed the need for each building to establish its own unique PLC based on the school's needs. This presentation was also shared at the May Education meeting and is available on the district website for you to have a more detailed look at this important work. Questions and comments from the Curriculum Committee included sharing the goals of PLCs with parents, supporting students with complex schedules, supporting students who may need to move from one team or teacher to another, providing support for teachers who may not be familiar or may be less willing to engage in PLCs, the use of both quantitative and qualitative data regarding student achievement and quality of experience, and finally, sustained professional development. The Curriculum Committee looks forward to the future updates on PLCs, especially the development of this model in the elementary schools, which is currently under discussion. Our second topic was on the Naglieri pilot results. Dr. Joanna Wexler presented the findings from a 2-year pilot study to consider using the Naglieri group testing procedure to identify mentally gifted students in the district. 2nd and 3rd grade students enrolled at Penn Wynne and Penn Valley participated in the pilot. Data was shared that showed that more students were being identified for initial screenings via the Naglieri that may have otherwise been missed. The recommendations from the Gifted Support Committee included a decreased reliance on parent-teacher referrals for screening, improved collection of data evidencing multiple criteria, streamline the process. For 2014 and 15 school year, the recommendation is to administer the Naglieri nonverbal ability test in all 6 elementary buildings to all first grade students, and for 2015-16 to consider the OLSAT. The Gifted Support Committee will come together to analyze and review the data and continue to keep the Curriculum Committee of the Board updated. The cost for screening using the Naglieri is $9,500. There is an embedded cost savings since classroom teachers, rather than only gifted support staff, can administer the group screening. The autism audit was our 3rd topic area. The elementary and secondary teams have contracted with the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit to conduct an audit regarding current levels of autism support across the district, with the goal of providing balanced programming across all schools at each level. Because of the growing needs for autism support, both Gladwin and Kenwood will each need an additional teacher next year. The MCIU will review current programming and develop a needs assessment to assist the district with further programming planning decisions. The cost of the audit is covered by our contracted services with MCIU. And finally, the committee received an update on our project-based assessments. The committee, Ms. Kimberly Frazier shared with the committee the update on staffing needs and related costs to implement the unfunded state-mandated project-based assessments for the Keystone examinations. The cost for related tutoring will require 1 part-time teacher per high school at approximately $8,500 per school, or $17,000. These teachers will work 3 days per week for 2 hours between October and May of the 14-15 school year. Our meeting was adjourned at 10:30 a.m. and we are still in the process of determining what our meeting date for September will be. So I'll ask that you check back on the board calendar prior to September. Thank you.
Dr. Marseille?
Thank you, Dr. McGinley. The administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approves overnight field trips per Exhibit C S-1.
Are there any questions? Do you have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Robin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Marissa. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes.
The administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approves the Solution Tree host contract for customized on-site professional learning communities in the amount of $35,042.40 per Exhibit C-2.
Are there any questions? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Suba. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Robin. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes.
The administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approves the Naglieri assessments for all first graders at a cost of $9,500. The recommendation is to move forward with implementing the Naglieri at all 6 elementary buildings during the 14-15 school year.
Are there any questions? Do I have a motion to approve?
I so move.
Thank you, Virginia. Maureen, will you second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you. I'm going to take the student services items together in the interest of time, knowing we have another meeting. So I'm asking you to approve the service agreements per Exhibits SS1 through SS24. I'm asking that you approve the Easter Seals contract for the extended school year services. I'm asking you to approve the Vanguard contracts for extended school year services, and also approve an addendum to the Quinn Development Services contract for additional services for the remainder of the 2013-14 school year at the amounts indicated.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Lori. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Subo. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion's passed.
Thank you. Next is the report of the Facilities Purchasing Committee. Mr. Driscoll.
Thank you, Dr. McGinley. We met on May 15th at 8:30 a.m. in this room, and many of the items you'll see on the agenda, but we did review the list of bills and the purchasing report that include 4 items of refinishing the gym at Harridan, parking lot improvements at Bala Cambridge Middle School, replacing the sound system at Gladwin Auditorium, and a new lawn tractor because one of the current ones we have is nearing its end of life. We were also given a insurance overview from Mr. Sander from the Willis Group. He gave us just pretty much a yearly update on, let's see here, on insurance issues. We are currently taking appropriate measures to reduce risk and are carrying appropriate coverage for a school of this size and where we are. We also reviewed the proposal from Lmsb for flex space room reservation. This is a proposal for centralized software product that will allow faculty and staff to reserve rooms for events. Currently, we had to do this through a lot of email traffic and things, so this will simplify things greatly and reduce administrative overhead and provide immediate updates to relevant personnel if a room reservation changes. We also reviewed a proposal for the Heartland payment systems. This proposal is for a service that will allow for easier and more efficient electronic payment to the district for some district activities. We also reviewed renewing the lease for MELC. We all know MELC provides before and after school care for our children, so they're just using our space. We also looked at licensing agreements for both first string sports and world-class soccer. The first string sports is for basketball summer camp, and the world-class soccer is a soccer camp using district facilities over the summer. We also reviewed a proposal for Johnson Controls. This would be an audit for like a monthly service for our HVAC systems, more like a maintenance for us. We reviewed a contract for Superior Transportation. These provide busing services beyond what we already have. Reviewed change orders that netted a net positive for our Bala Kenwood Middle School project, and we received an update on the elementary and middle school enrollment projects. Our next meeting will be June 5th at 8:30 in this room. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Orlando?
Okay, under Business Office and Finance, we have 4 recommended action items. I want to take them in one motion, unless a board member would like me to separate any of them. Okay. Approve the list of bills for payment. Approve the financial report for April 2014. Accept the donation with pleasure from the Gladwin Elementary Home and School of $6,000 towards a new auditorium projector, and appoint Kenneth Roos, Worcester Pearlstein, as a school district solicitor for the 2014-15 school year.
Thank you. Before we go on, I just want to, on behalf of the entire board, thank the Gladwin HSA for their generous donation. Are there any questions? Do you have a motion to approve? Thank you, Marissa. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Ben. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes.
Under Facilities and Operations, I'm going to take all the recommended actions in one motion. The administration recommends to award the bids to the contractor name in the attached purchasing report for the amount and contract specified as the lowest responsible bidder in accordance with the contract specification for the following items: sand stain and refinish the gym floor at Harrington High School, parking lot improvements at the Ballacua Middle School, replace the auditorium sound system at Gladwin Elementary School, and purchase a Toro Grandmaster 5910 model lawn tractor. Also approve the lease with MLC for the 2014-15 school year. Approve the contract with Superior Bus Service through June 30, 2014. Approve the service contract with Johnson Controls for automated system maintenance at each of the high schools, subject to final review by our solicitor. Approve the the agreement with Heartland Payment Systems, and also authorize the administration to execute the agreement and necessary documents to implement the system. Approve the license agreement with First String Sports. Approve the license agreement with Nicholas Savarini and World Class Soccer School. Approve the quote from Lmsb for the room registration program. Certify receipt of approval of PlanCom Part F. attachment C, for the Walsh Valley Middle School project. Approve the quotes from Barry Isett and Associates and Valbridge Property Advisors, Lukens and Wolf LLC, to provide professional services related to real estate matters, and approve the change orders for the Ballackinwood Middle School classroom and office modification project.
Okay, just to remind everyone, these were all reviewed in great detail at the facilities meeting. Are there any questions or comments?
I just wanted to abstain from voting on item B because my husband is a board member of MELC.
Okay, so just abstain from that one item. Perfect. Okay, thank you. All right, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's passed. Okay, we're now going to move on to the Board of Directors business. And at this time, we're going to have a report of the Policy Committee meeting by Virginia Pollard.
The Lower Merion School District Policy Committee met on May 9th of this year. For review, policies that are being considered for the first or second reading at our next business meeting, which is tonight. The following policies are up for adoption tonight. Policy 111, which is instructional planning, and Policy 235, students' rights and responsibilities. Policy 111 lets us know that teaching is a purposeful activity that requires the creation of lesson and unit plans. Lesson planning is a communication tool between teachers and students identifying learning outcomes and goals. The regulation was also updated as well. Policy 235 addresses the rights of a student to free education and attendance, equal education opportunity, student involvement, and student discipline. It was decided because this policy is so voluminous, when a section is revised, there would be a footnote added stating when the revision occurred. The regulation was updated as well. First reading, policy number 114, individualized student support services. Policy 116, assignment of exceptional pupils to social programs, for repeal. And policy 237, section 504, compliance, for repeal. These policies have been combined into one policy, number 114, retitled Individualized Student Programs and Services. This combined policy intends to safeguard the rights of our students to access and receive an appropriately individualized education in compliance with federal and state law requirements, and to make sure the parents and guardians of our students are fully informed as to their child's rights and individualized student programs and services in the areas of special education and gifted education. The regulations governing these program areas are being updated and will be reviewed at the next meeting. Administrative regulations. Regulation 820, business operations, post-insurance compliance. These procedures were adopted at the recommendation of Bond Counsel. With so much outstanding business to cover, Megan Schaefer suggested that we add a meeting. It would be on Friday, June the 6th at 8:30 in the administrative boardroom. The additional meeting was approved by the committee. Now, since then, because of some scheduling conflicts, the policy meeting has been moved to Wednesday, March the 4th at 8:30. I'm sorry, March.
You can move tomorrow.
We can move it tomorrow. Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30 here in the administrative room.
Okay, thank you so much, Virginia. We need to actually vote on the second reading of policies 111 and policy 235. So do we have any questions? Again, this was reviewed in the policy meeting in detail. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. To approve the calendar. You're recommending that?
Yes. I'm making a recommendation to approve the revised 2014-15 school year calendar.
Just a quick question.
Sure.
Dr. McGinn, how many snow dates are in this one? We talked about adding a snow date in.
Mr. Schaefer?
You have to go.
Of the calendar, the additional snow days. It was our intent to take the 2 days past the end of the school year in June, and then indicate specifically that we would revert to spring break of next year.
Right, but how many are built into the calendar?
There's always two built into the calendar.
Right, and we talked about adding a third. So we didn't do that?
That would be a matter of bargaining.
A third snow day?
Yeah, changing the calendar to approve. Yeah, there's a certain number of required work days, so we're maximizing the required work days. It would be a bargaining issue to extend beyond what we have currently. Moving the days to a different sequence would allow us to apply for Act 80.
That was the other thing we intended to do with this change, was to indicate that the days that we are looking to recoup through Act 80 this year are designated on the calendar now, so that we don't have to go back to you and ask that you designate those days as Act 80 days next year. So they're not technically an additional student day, but those staff development days are designated as Act 80 days should we need them.
Can you explain what Act 80 days means?
It allows us to recoup days that qualify as, they're not student days because students aren't here, but we're using them for professional development purposes. And it doesn't allow us to count the hours for those days, but to designate those days as days towards the requirement under the code. So it's an exception to the rule that students are in class. That allows us to take that as an exception.
Thank you. Are there other questions or comments? Do you have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Ben. Do you have a second? Thank you, Marissa. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. We now have a report of the Communications Committee. Dr. Golden?
The Communications Committee met Wednesday morning, May 14th at 8:30 a.m. in this room. Mr. Young updated us on both recent and upcoming district events, so he didn't tell us about his reunion. I'm just going to highlight a few here. The minutes are more extensive. The first was the very successful parade and picnic to honor the centennial of Kinwood Elementary School. There was a great turnout for the event, and many local dignitaries, including County Commissioner Josh Shapiro and State Representative Mary Jo Daly, joined the Kinwood principal, Dr. Martino, and the students and their families in that celebration. The second event that Doug reported to us was the Harriton High School Science Olympiad team's heartbreaking second-place finish at the state championships at Juniata College in Huntington, but they have since, I'm pleased to report, recovered, bounced right back, and finished third this weekend at the Nationals in Orlando, Florida. That is third in the entire nation. They'll be most appreciative of that. They really came back. And finally, the Education Foundation of Lower Merion's 5K is coming up on Sunday, June 8th at Harriton High School. And you don't have to do the 5K, you can walk, as I do. And the Lower Merion Township Scholarship Fund's award reception will be held at the Merion Tribute House on Wednesday, May 28th to honor this year's scholarship recipients. The one other item from our May 14th meeting is that as part of the strategic planning process, the district will be launching a community survey that's designed for to provide an opportunity for community members who are not currently parents in the district to share their visions, or in the public schools, who don't have children currently in the public schools, to share their visions for the district and participate in that strategic plan. And I'm assuming Doug will let us know when that is launched. The meeting concluded at approximately 9 a.m. and the Communications Committee will reconvene again in September.
Thank you very much, Marissa. I'm not missing another committee meeting, am I? No, we're good. Okay. Do you have, oh, yes, Dr. O'Leary, please.
Sorry, legislative did not meet between these two meetings. Our meeting that was to take place later this week has been canceled. I wanted to announce that. Also, the Public Citizens for Children and Youth is holding a school funding advocacy day in Harrisburg. It'll be Tuesday, June 10th. If you want more information on that, you can go to pccy.org is their website. And then I just wanted to remind everybody that tomorrow is primary day. You should go out and vote. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, all right.
Should I do this?
Sure.
As the representative from the board to the MCIU unit, I just would like to say that the MCIU provides our district with many support programs, and one that's coming up soon will be the Advanced Placement Summer Institutes, and this is for API teachers that are novice and also experienced teachers, and also veteran College Board certified instructors to review recent updates in AP programs and exams, reflect the instructional delivery practices that impact student learning in an AP environment. The institutes are going to be July 14th through 18th. The second one is July 28th through August the 1st. And the last one is August the 11th through August the 15th. And if anyone is interested, they can go to www.mciu.org/APSI.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to ask if anybody in the public would like to speak to any item at all. Please come sign in with Ms. LaPera. Do we have anybody who'd like to do that? No? Okay. Then I'd like to read with the Sunshine, in accordance with the Sunshine Law, when the Board of Directors have met in executive session, which included this evening, which was personnel and real estate, and then May 12th, personnel, May 19th, personnel, real estate, and litigation. Oh, I repeated myself. Okay. And I think since it's obviously been a long day, at this time, we are now adjourned. Thank you.